Let's do some speed paintings. Some quick palette knife paintings of landscapes. I have a lot of these. Put them up on the assembly line. And they're fun because they're quick. They're just shapes. It's exploring color and value and surface. They're pretty shiny. They got to be varnished still. This is just Bristol board that I primed with this nice red house paint color. You should have a gallon of house paint in your house. Not to paint the walls, but to prime boards with. No need to use gesso. It's all latex-based paint anyway. So I'm going to run through this real quick. These take about 30 minutes. I have my acrylic paints lined up. I'm using, of course, titanium white, using cadmium yellow light, diarylid yellow, cadmium red medium hue, so this is the synthetic cadmium, phthalo blue, and a special guest color, Payne's Gray, which I had. And I'm going to cheat and get a dark with that. So real simple color palette, nothing too extravagant. I'm going to do it all with my palette knife, my trusty old palette knife. Of course, need some water, paint rags, ooh. And I got my surface. I might use this very, very poorly taken care of brush. And I did just a quick thumbnail. I'm not looking at details, I'm just looking at basic shapes, basic values. So just a simple tree line. I'm gonna try to paint a glow coming through the trees here. I don't know if that's very apparent in my little sketch. I'm just gonna explore light and dark, warm and cool colors, saturated colors versus neutral colors, and just kind of take my cues from nature, color cues from nature, but hopefully expand upon that because I'm not being influenced by my color cues from nature, I'm just being influenced by value. So I'm going to start with a dark. Maybe I'll split that dark up. Make a warm version and a cool version. Maybe I'll start there. Trees are green, grass is green. But it don't have to be green like the green in the color spectrum of the rainbow. There, I have 3 basic darks here. It's all unified by that Payne's Gray. So this is where it's fun. Just knock it in. No need to worry about accuracy. They're just blobs of trees. I found when I paint trees, I struggle with them because you either want to paint them super detailed, draw or paint every single branch and every single leaf, or do the opposite and just paint the basic shape. There's no really in between for me. It's got to be either or. So this borders on abstract expressionism, I guess. It's going to make a medium value now. I forgot to put up my phthalo blue. So early on, I'm just concentrating on the neutrals that these colors do together. I was saying as borders on abstract expressionism, but since they are taking some cues from nature color-wise, it brings it back to realism in a little bit. And if you put a sky in there, any abstract painting could become a landscape. I'll just kind of let the palette knife do its thing. The trick for me is to get soft edges with a palette knife, which can be a little tricky. I might come back in with a brush just to soften up some of these edges. We'll see. This is pure enjoyment for me. There's no pressure to make a highly polished finished product. And like those areas, I mean, that's exciting for me. I don't want to ruin that. I don't want to go over it and render it to death. And I like to prime these this red color because it kind of charges the colors. If you have a kind of a saturated color to start on, you put neutrals on top of that energy from that saturated red just kind of pops through it. It also unifies all these colors that you put in there. So I'll make another value here, which is just grass. I'll take my neutral and just put it here. See, I'm not totally mixing the color. I'm leaving lots of the chunky bits. And I'll make a kind of a warm version over here, a relatively warm version. So that's all the same value, more or less. But it's kind of a light medium value, but there's a warm light medium value and a cool light medium value. Just drop it in. Try to keep that color fresh. There's a little accident. Happy accident. But at this point, you can brace it all. My yellow was unexpected, but hey. Yeah, let's bring in. Have my lights here and my little thumbnail sketch. So I'm going to come back in and try to bring those out some. My plan is to have some of that light popping through these trees in the back. Trying to get that glow, if I can do that with a palette knife. I like it. That's pretty thick, juicy paint right there. So I'm just going to let that set up and dry some. I'm going to go in and give it a sky. What color's the sky? You know, it's a light. Should we make it blue? What does a blue sky look like there? Should make it more dramatic. Let's make it a pink sky. No, I got an idea. Let's make it pink and blue. Excuse me, red and blue. Pink's just a desaturated light red. So it's either the same value, but different hues, different colors. And just lay that in there. Just think, when the paint tube was invented, it opened up a wide variety of colors to artists, and it made it portable too. So you no longer had to make your own pigments, grind them up yourself or whatever, and you can explore color in a more fascinating and personal way. Get those trees looking less like mountains, more like trees. I think I'm about done. Kind of noodle in some of these edges here. You can even just touch it with your fingers. Where light meets shadow, or light meets a dark object, you can always play up that pure color at that edge. That kind of activates your shapes, I guess. If you find that your paintings are too muddy or too neutral, you can just take some pure color, scrub it up right against it. Just accent it. That'll bring out the pure color in your neutrals. I like that. That's surprising to me. So this is a nice break from my normal work. You don't have to think about anything. Just pure painting. Just playing with landscapes. Nothing narrative about it. No drawing involved. No rendering involved. I like it. And going through these, I found something I wanted to touch up. That yellow is, or excuse me, that white is bothering me. So I'm going to turn that white into a hue. A real easy way to do that, I'm just going to mix up a warmth, an orange. Try to make an orange. Real thin. That's just acrylic paint. That's just water. I'm going to see what happens if I just glaze over that. Perfect. That was fun. Hope you all are well.